Hi, welcome back. Today I'm going to have a guest in my kitchen, my husband Derek, and we are going to be making red chili smoked javelina sausage. We are going to go ahead and stuff it and smoke it. The sausage was actually made ahead of time. We mixed our favorite ingredients in there. We added some cheese, and it's all mixed up, and it's been sitting out in the refrigerator overnight, and we're ready to stuff it and smoke it. And I hope you enjoy this video. Okay, so we're prepping everything in the kitchen, and what we have today is we have fibrous casings, and what you have to do is put them in a container, and then you need to soak them with warm water. So I'm just letting the water heat up a little so that they can soften up. These are non-edible casings, so when everything's all said and done, you will remove this before you eat it. So okay, so my water is warm now, and I'm going to go ahead and make sure this is submersed. And the other thing we need to get out, I just realized that we need to get out, is some string to tie the opposite ends. So they came pre-strung or pre-tied on one side, and then after you stuff the sausage, then you have to do the other side. So okay, that's enough water, and a lot of times they recommend 30 minutes, so whenever it gets soft. So I'm just going to put that down in there.
Okay, so here's a little bit more about the casings. They're 1.5 by 12 inch with a string. The sausage itself was done yesterday, and here's the basic ingredients and stuff on what that's all about. One point though is, when you're doing the mixing of things, you don't go ahead and put in, we put sea salt in, you do not put the pink sea salt in. The pink sea salt will destroy. We've tried it before, it will destroy it. There are no nitrates in this recipe, as you saw. It's all pretty much, when we have the chance of using organic, we do. The javelina meat itself is organic. And so what we're going to be concentrating today is we have an sausage stuffer. We're going to stuff the sausage, and then we're going to go outside and smoke it, and we're going to show you how all that works. All right. So I've taken some butter, and I've put some butter on this little rubber O-ring thing here, and then a little bit of butter here. Not even a smidgen, but just enough to go ahead and make it to where it's lubricated, where it'll go down. Man, this stuff's... Oh, man, it smells good. That is so good. All the chili, pepper, spices, and all that. And as you can see, this is kind of thick because it's been chilled overnight. We put it all together yesterday. You can see the cheese and the meat all blended together. It's got a red color from the red chili spices that are in it, that are even more red than what the actual meat is. And we're filling this stuffer, and we're going to go ahead and get started and get ready to go. Thank you. As you can see, the stuffer container is all filled up, and we just kind of tilt it back, get it underneath there, slide it underneath there, make sure it's kind of in line, and then once it's all in line, you just...
Okay, let me add something. So when he filled the stuffer container, he made sure that there wasn't a lot of air pockets, because if there's a lot of air pockets, then when you're compressing the meat and stuff, you're going to just have a lot of air come out. So it's best to have no air when you stuff the meat in there. Okay. We're getting close to do our first one.
Wait on the casings. The casings we're still waiting on, so we'll get to those here in a second. Thank you. Okay, so our casings have soaked in the warm water for about 30 minutes, maybe 29.5. But anyways, close enough. They're nice and soft, as you can see, and pliable. That's what you're looking for. These are fibrous casings. Like Rhonda said earlier, you don't eat these things. You leave them on. You can slice it with the sausage and all that kind of stuff with the thing on here. So you slide this all the way up like this, because what we're trying to do is keep all the air out of here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this like this, but I'm not holding it really tight. Get really tight, Rhonda. And anyways, I just crank the handle over here, which you're not being able to see real well. And I'm just letting this thing, as it's filling, I guess I'm not, let me try a different angle here. I've never done it this way before, but just so you can see what's happening here. See how as it's filling, it just kind of shoves the thing out. Like I said, I'm not doing it real tight. But I'm making sure that all the air, there's no air pockets anywhere in the sausage. And this thing here, it pushes it in there really tight. I mean, if you were putting it in there and shoving it in there with a spoon, there's no way you could do what this contraption is doing here. Anyways, I don't know if you noticed my, and then I back it off about a quarter turn. Anyways, I don't know if you noticed on the base of the sausage stuffer, there's a wooden platform that it's on. That's so that I can go ahead and be able to, oops, I got a air pocket right there. Burp that out of there. Okay. Give it a couple twists there. Always leave yourself about a ½ inch, 3/4 inch or something of casing sticking out, so that when you go ahead and tie it off, that you're not having your tie slip off to the end. So there's one ready to go, and we'll go ahead and get to work getting some more of them done. All right, let's try another one here. Okay, so we got another casing here. Get the excess water out of it. You can see they're nice and pliable. This is easier to do if you're not using red chili, because with red chili I like wearing the gloves so I don't have the red chili soaking into my skin and making my skin ache. So as you can see right here, this is how I normally do it. And this all goes pretty darn quick.
So on this string, this is called cooking twine, and it's 100% cotton. We actually, you could get it at a kitchen store. We got it actually at one of our local hardware stores, and in the kitchen section of the hardware store, and it is called cooking twine. And people use this to tie up roasts and things like that as well, but it's 100% cotton. And it's fairly inexpensive for how much you get. So when you're tying these, you got to do it tight, because the last thing you want is it to come undone in the smoker.
I don't know if you heard that little bit of squeak. That's how tight she's tightening them. All right. Once you hold that up in that way, they can see what that looks like.
Okay, so that's the cooking twine. And then the length we're going for is...
just something easy tieable.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Okay, so we had the stuffer run out of meat. We've refilled the meat in the stuffer. And now we're going for some more. Now when you get in this layer right in here, sometimes you got to watch real close you don't have a big old air bubble come down through there, because you're going between batches in the stuffer. Anyways, in the hopper there. Anyway, something else I forgot to mention earlier too is the all threads, this thing on the top up here on the cranking handle. I lubricated that with a little bit of lard a couple of years ago, and when we go ahead and we clean this thing off, we don't take that off of there. We clean the lower end of the hopper and all that kind of stuff, the disc and the hopper and all this stuff down here. We don't do the upper end. Okay, this one ready to go. Okay, so the Javelina we're doing right now is the Javelina that I got. But anyways, one of the things too is this is all the tough meat on the Javelina. This isn't the, dang, this thing is hard to get these things open with these gloves on.
Need help?
Yeah, try to get that open, please.
I can't even open up the bags in the grocery store for produce. But I got that one done, so that's good.
All right, thank you. But anyways, the tougher meat, like down on the ends of the legs and the rib meat and that kind of stuff like that, that's the part that's going into this ground meat. All the steaks and such, all that is all done separately. In fact, we barbecued up some of the backstrap last night, and they were absolutely tasty, wonderful. Doesn't get any better than organic meat. Okay, so we went and put some more meat in the hopper, and we had what I was talking about before. We had a big old air bubble come down through this thing. I didn't get the meat all done in the bottom. So what I'm having to do is go real slow and then get the meat to go ahead and start coming down through in a nice, even air. See, there's like an air bubble even right there coming through right now that I'll have to deal with on the next one. But anyways, if you do that, how you recover from it is you go ahead and you get your casing, and you can see like right here, these things, you just kind of work these bubbles up and kind of milk the casing up, and then you push the sausage meat back down into the casing, and then you milk these bubbles back up to the top, and then you can finally tie it off.
Now you can do the same thing if you are not lucky enough to get super organic meat by going hunting. You can go ahead and go to the store and have them grind you some pork, or grind it in your own grinder, or you could even use beef, and you can make your own lunch meat. Okay, so we got all the sausage stuffed, and they're about £1 a piece. Anyways, you can see that one right there on top. That's the last one, and it's a little bit short, but it doesn't make a difference. I've even made them where they're only like this long before and still put them in the smoker, and they work just fine. I usually, if it's too much down here, I'll slice off that end, but this is what they look like before they go in the smoker. This is my Masterbuilt electric smoker. I have several smokers. They all basically work. The ones I have are all the same. Basically, I've got electric. I've got ones that run on regular wood. As you can see, I got some pieces of unistrut fastened where the legs used to be on here to make it a little more stable on the ground. And I fastened bought this over at the local hardware store, and I went ahead and I fastened a little dolly onto it and make it more portable. But this is my Masterbuilt smoker. You see I already set the air opening to about halfway open, and we'll get started. Okay, so here's our Javelina sausage with the little short one on top there in the middle. And we're going to be using some alder wood today. You can use all kinds of different wood. If you have wood that's like, here's apple wood that we've used pretty regularly. You can. This is the hopper that goes into the electric smoker. On the wood-fired smokers, a lot of times I use mesquite, or if I can get a hold of it, we have pecan trees here locally, and I'll get some pecan and use that for smoking. Make awesome anything that's a fruit wood. Like I said, you know, we've used cherry. You just don't want to use your pitchy pines and stuff like that to go ahead and smoke with. You only want to use fruits and nuts trees. So we'll get to smoking. I'm going to go ahead and get that. I'm going to put, as you can see right there, I'm going to put those bayonet things in there. I'm going to put like 2 of them in to start with, and then we'll start the smoker. And then as time goes on, we'll add a little bit more, about an hour into it, and we'll increase the heat as we go. Okay, so all the meat's in the smoker. I left that bottom rack empty because there's a lot more heat down there, so this is more even. Like I said, I got the vent up here set at half thing. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start setting some time. Temp set. It's 54 degrees out here right now. We're going to go ahead and set this temp at 180. And get there, 70. Alright, so we're at 180. Now we can go ahead and do that. We're going to go ahead and get the time set. Let's just go ahead and give it 6 hours. And kind of funky the way that thing's all looking in the camera. That's weird. Never looked at it from this perspective before. But anyways, it's 53 degrees outside right now, and we've got her set for 6 hours at 180 degrees. All right, we're back. Went ahead and I filled up one of the trays with some more alder. This is on a little piece of sheet metal that I got that I took off of a dishwasher that we had to replace quite a few years back, and figured I'd repurpose it.
But anyway, so we can take that there and stick it inside there, give it a turn, half turn. I don't know if I got that on film. I'm looking more at what was going on. And now we need to go ahead and set temperature. We're going to bump this temperature up to 200 now. Oops, bear high. There we go, set temp. Alrighty. So we're all set to go. We'll go ahead and get back with you in a little bit. So you can see that smoke starting to come out of the top pretty good right there. It's infusing into that casing and into that sausage meat, and it's going to taste great. I can smell it right now. It smells absolutely wonderful out here. Here's that piece of metal I was telling you about that I took off the dishwasher. I put that. We're expecting some rain here later on this afternoon. As you can see in the reflection, there's a bunch of clouds overhead coming in right now. And just protecting the smoker. The electronics don't like it when it gets wet. All right, so it's been 5 hours now. Let's see what we got going in here. Yeah, look at that steam coming out of there. There's a nice bunch of sausage all ready to be pulled. Now that looks amazing. That is going to be so good. Those wrappers are already starting to shrink with this cold air hitting it. Okay, so we've got them inside on the cooling racks. And once they've cooled down for a couple hours, slice into probably that little short one over there and see what we got. Okay, so we've got all the sausage all cooling down. Still a little bit warm, but I wanted to go ahead and do the final on it and do a taste test on it. Rhonda's going to be making another video here in just a few seconds. She's going to be making dinner with some spaghetti and meatballs, is what you were saying earlier?
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, so going to taste test it. This piece here was near the air vent and got a little dry, so I decided to show you the worst of the worst is this piece here. And it is moist and flavorful. A little bit of salt in it, not overly salty. No fat, just absolutely wonderful. The pepper is amazing. It just comes through. The right amount of spices on everything. Little taste of that oregano we put in here, it's a little different. I like the oregano. I think that's going to be a permanent change for our videos. As we've said before, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button. And I appreciate you watching Rhonda's channel. And so
I won't need to buy lunch meat for a while, so that's cool. Thank you for watching.
Thank you. Bye.